Crime chief complains of Brazilian guns on Guyanese streets. Arson destroys historic church. And audit office probes embassy construction. I am Rico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The Guyana Police Force says it is attempting to stop the flow of firearms across the border between Brazil and Guyana. According to Crime Chief Wendell Blanham, the police force was able to remove 68 illicit guns from the streets this year, with the majority of those weapons being made in Brazil. Supposedly, revolvers were the most common type of illicit firearms removed from circulation, followed by shotgun. Now, meanwhile, they said the United States of America is the primary source of the guns, followed by our neighbor Brazil. In fact, he said when it comes to Brazil, he stated that the Taurus handgun accounts for a considerable portion of the illegal guns originating there. As you know, Taurus is a Brazilian-made company. 3 weeks after Soku detained attorney Tamika Clark, the DPP is yet to offer legal advice on the matter. Yesterday, Starbuck News was reliably informed that the case file is still in the DPP's chambers. According to a source, the DPP will decide what action, if any, would be taken against Soku officer Krishnadat Ramana. Vincent Alexander, the chairman of the International Decade of People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, is suing Jagdeo for $150 million in damages following the comments that he made against him regarding his usage of funds during his stay as the chairman of the IDAPADA-G. Alexander says that he has never been paid a dime for his work and he was always a volunteer for the organization. The complaint accused Jagdeo of making the statements when there is no proof to back them. As a result, Alexander is also requesting a public apology and a retraction as well. According to a report submitted to the Ministry of Education by the principal of Queen's College, Candice Cave Stephen, the Queen's College Board of Governors is currently investigating an incident between two students that resulted in the parent of one of them, Justice Navindra Singh, visiting the school in the company of a senior police officer and allegedly intimidating the vice principal and threatening to send one of the children to jail. This resulted in a go-slow action by the school staff in solidarity on Wednesday. Priya Manik-Chand, the Minister of Education, informed Starbuck News that while the ministry is aware of the event, the school board is currently investigating exactly what happened. She stated that the board had received a report from the principal and that the accusations will now be presented before Justice Singh. Well, let's see what his non-biased opinion is going to be on it. Meanwhile, the teachers are demanding an apology from Justice Singh and also demanding that he be banned from ever stepping foot on campus again. An unnamed man's body was discovered stuck beneath a bridge at Schuler and Gomes Optical Services in Georgetown yesterday. The discovery was uncovered in the afternoon when the terrible odor grew unbearable to the proprietor of the eye clinic, Don Gomes, and to nearby residents. Gomes told reporters that he had noticed the terrible odor since Sunday, but had no idea where it was coming from. On Wednesday, they had had enough. Gomes and several helpers tracked it down to a piece of the drain in front of his business that had been covered with boards. When they removed the boards, they discovered the body of a deceased man. The decomposing body showed no marks of violence. Nevertheless, the police spent over an hour using a sledgehammer to free the body from under the bridge. You're a hard-working truck owner. That's why you need only quality parts for your truck. But you might be asking, Noriko, now how will I ever afford them? Well, my friend, you need to go to Powered Automotive. They stock parts from Mack, International, Bedford TM, and all models of Cummins engines. Treat your truck right. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Book a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. On Thursday morning, an intentional fire damaged the century-old St. Patrick's Church in East Kanji, Belize, according to Clive McDonald, the division officer of the Guyana Fire Service. McDonald told reporters that the fire first began around 4:30 a.m. 2 fire engines were called, but the structure was already engulfed in flames when they arrived. The Guyana Fire Service preliminary investigations found that the fire had been in the building for quite some time, but given the structure's age, being over 100 years old, the fire swiftly spread. The International Court of Justice opened public hearings today in the case involving the 1899 arbitral award that resolved the boundary dispute between Venezuela and then British Guyana. The proceedings are dealing especially with Venezuela's preliminary objections submitted in response to Guyana's submission of its memorial on the merits of the case. Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez defended her nation, claiming that Venezuela is the undisputed owner of the region west of the Essequibo River. Yeah, right. The Vice President stated that while her country respects the ICJ as the Court of the United Nations, it does not have the jurisdiction to hear the case. She stated that by participating, Caracas will establish that Guyana's claim is inadmissible. Today, Guyana made its representation, which we will summarize in tomorrow's episode. The Audit Office of Guyana is conducting a special inquiry into a U.S. $4.4 million contract issued in 2019 during the Granger administration for the construction of an ambassador's house and diplomatic staff quarters in Brazil. This is owing to conflicts with the contractor about the sort of contract that should have been signed, as well as delays caused by the pandemic. The contractor got $2.4 million in payments by the end of 2020. A total of $1.8 million was paid in 2021, bringing the total payments to $4.2 million. To date, these payments totaling 94% of the contract price. However, the project was only 64% done at the time of reporting. Thus, a special inquiry is ongoing. It's November, which means it's officially robbery season. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even have drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about the Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mount rooms, new tires, TV, CD, stereo fog lamps, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $9.95 million, or pay as low as $1.99 million down with around $170,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 6620844 for more info. Or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them the Rico sent you for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News, the viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it placed was. Last night I asked about inflation, and Troy DeWeaver says inflation will always be in Guyana, and Guyana will always be the same. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Bit pessimistic, but I understand. And Wendell says, Norigo for Chief Judge. Well, thank you. Condolences. More oil and more austerity for the general population. Why? Why indeed?
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
Now for tonight's question. Do you think the public servants should be given retroactive pay and a pay raise for the end of the year, or not? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.